You can kind of see my face. Who's on here? Justin. Listen, leave me alone. It's time for some songs. That can be something we could talk about. Meaning like, well, whatever, I'll get into that if I get into that. Brian's here, Fatal Framer is here, EG is here, Matt is here. Hello, lovelies. Hey, Janessa, sorry I couldn't make it last week. No worries. My friend's house watching Stranger Things 4. Everyone is watching Stranger Things. Stuck at work now. What do you do for work? Where are you stuck? Buenos tardes. I need to get back to my Spanish lessons, and I feel like I've said that a few times, but I recently am back into enjoying learning, so that's definitely on my list. I burnt myself out, so I stopped for a while, but now I feel like I have lots and lots of projects, so I should learn a language again. Espanol. But I have to be able to use it. Like, that's the thing I think with learning anything is it's like, if it exists in a vacuum, it goes away. What's the point of learning this? You have to be able to apply it in some way. Even if, like, what would I learn? I even think sometimes, like, having a desire to read something in its original language is motivation enough. Like, maybe I would, like, be able to read Pablo Neruda in the original prose. Not prose, verse. That would be exciting. Está bien. Cuando puedas. Puedas. Is that like, como se... Is that like, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Is that like, what's happening? Puedas? What's puedas mean? No, let's talk about depression. Okay, so guys, about sadness. No, we're not going to talk about depression. Puedas. Oh, like, can. Yeah. See, a lot of, like, because I can speak French. So, quand tu peux. That's the French version of that. See, there we go. One day, I'll do a live stream in Spanish. How about that? I'm so impressed by people, first of all, who just do anything in a second or third language. But then who teach in that language, I'm so impressed. So impressed. So brave, too. Like, some people can't even public speak in their native language. And then you have other people who are, like, giving presentations in their third language. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I hope you guys are all well. As I was like thinking of today, it's funny, as this goes on, I don't want to be like, I just want to have discussions. Like, I think there's enough people out there pretending to be experts on everything. And granted, they have a body of knowledge that's like theirs to share, but there's a whole lot of theory going on. It's a theory. It's not definite. It's not for certain. It's like, this is what we've hypothesized. This is like the understanding as it is right now. But there's a difference. So first of all, but there's a difference between like, I've experienced this, I have that to share from my own experience. And it's that then like you have a real fluency with how you describe it, as opposed to if you're just passing along someone else's information, someone else's theory, you're going to be very constrained. So like I'm always kind of suspect of people who like stick to one script, who can't paraphrase themselves, who can't go off book. I'm like, you don't really know what you're talking about. I don't know. So anyway, there's a lot of things out there that are theory, and this is like something that I just want to have a discussion because I was on TikTok and I was kind of like nerding out about dimensions and time, and I was like, ooh, I want to talk about time. Because okay, I was watching this video about like, so the third dimension is what we exist in, and that's like space, that's like, you know, depth, everything that you see around you, that's 3D. But then we're actually also in 4D, but 4D is kind of hard to describe because 4D is the dimension of time. And so it's like, are we in the 4D or are we using the 4D? Meaning like, are we in, can you be in the fourth dimension, or is it this like tool with which to interact in the 3D? And so this is where I'm like, you're talking theoretically. You're not talking from experience. No one can be talking from experience about this. No one can be like, yes, I fully have experienced the dimensions. I have stood outside of 4D and looked down and went, ah, that is 4D. Maybe you've had like some moments. Anyway, I'm just saying, anyone who considers themselves an expert on this, and also everyone is different. And that's kind of what I want to get into too. So with time, the way that I think of it, oh, and also this person was like, time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. And time, I'm not going to say it's an illusion. Meaning that, like, it's real. It happens. We notice it. We observe the passing of it. It's real as far as our experiencing of it is real. So I'm not going to say it's an illusion. It's maybe illusory. Does that make sense? Meaning that like it's a way of perceiving. It's like, I really think of it as a tool. Yeah, it's not an illusion. This goes hand in hand with someone was like, fear is an illusion. Fear is an illusion. False evidence appearing real. And it's like, fear isn't an illusion. People experience fear. Like, sure, there's no such thing as fear. There's like story, whatever. But people experience, there is a thing that people go through called fear. It happens. It happens to people. Ask any human being on earth. Is fear a thing that happens? Yeah, it happens. Does it mean that it has to be there? No. Does it mean that you're thinking thoughts that probably aren't great? Yeah. But it's not real. Anyway, so time is not real. However, I really like the idea of thinking of it in terms of a tool. Meaning that, okay, if time exists as it does, why does it exist? Why do we experience it? Why do we have it? What's the purpose of this? If all the dimensions, whatever, are there for a reason to give us some kind of human life experience, what is the experience we get out of having time? And as far as I can tell, and also guys, like with this, I just want you to like observe for yourself. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at with all the like people who are experts and telling you things. I just want you to observe your own reality, like observe your own life, because it's all there for you to discover. So for me, when I look at time, like it's a way, it's a tool for me to perceive change, to perceive movement. Meaning like I pass through it. It's like a vehicle. And I go, and so it can be like a short amount of time. So without time, like I can't walk down a hallway, for instance. because to me, it takes time. It takes time to move my feet to get to that point. It takes a certain amount of time. And so like time is something I spend or something I invest. Depends on how you look at it, right? So time is this vehicle that allows me to move myself or to have other things be moved. And then also it's something that allows for, like, that's basically what it is as far as I can tell, but it's something that allows for change. Movement and change, I'm kind of using those in the same way because I think they are the same, at least in this. Moving can mean many things. Moving from one place to another. Okay, but I'm also going to say that time is personal, meaning that time isn't this like static thing that happens in the same way for everyone. Some people seem to have never enough time. There's never enough time. And for some people, time drags on forever. Forever. Now, time, like, if we look at a clock, this doesn't make sense. It should be the same. Minutes should pass in the same way. But obviously, like, our awareness of time or the things that we're watching or doing affect how we experience this thing called time. So that's curious to me. And then also, if you look big picture too, you'll have people say like, wow, the time goes by, you know, or like you've had a summer and you're like, where did the time go? Where did the summer go? Or, oh, you're like 80 at your retirement and you're like, oh, the years are, what's the saying? Like the years are long, but what is it? The years are short, but the days are long, something like that. And like time speeds up as you get older. Now, that's not true. Again, if you go off the clock, that's not true. That's not true. Time does not speed up. So what happens is something happens in your experiencing of time. And again, I think this is like how that's what I mean about like movement or passing. So when you're young, everything is new. There's lots of new experiences that leave impressions, and days feel long because you're interested, because you're marking everything. So it's full, it's rich, and all of those markers create like this full day, and all those days add up. But then as you get older, maybe you stop having full days. You know, you're not interested in your own life. There's no longer any markers. You're not learning anything. You're not observing anything. Things aren't happening. Things aren't happening to mark. There's no change happening. There's no movement happening. So time is kind of this wash. We only really can mark time with change. That's how I see it. Okay, so that's for you though. That doesn't mean that like I would just say like, reject any rules about time that you don't want for yourself. So if you want like days to be full and rich, you can have that. Time doesn't have to speed up as you get older. You just have to stay open and aware and like be in the moment and mark your days. Like notice the movement. There's always movement, there's always change, or like then you need to have more things happening in your life. And also I have not experienced this. Well, I probably have. But I also feel like there is the possibility for bending time. I really do believe that. That like there's only the present moment, and that we can jump in time and we can experience other times, and we can even like talk to our future selves or past selves. Like I do feel like it's all folded in on one another. And that's kind of what I mean about like, so why does time exist? It exists so that we can like experience a difference, like a change. I'm at this point, not at that point, as opposed to it all just like piled on top of one another. Okay. I was also thinking about this, like how we use time. And Meaning that I think like we have ideas about time being this kind of, I don't, again, with the like being a vehicle. It's like, so what do we put in the hands of time? What do we go like, time will do this for me. Time will do this. I'm going to leave this up to time. Meaning there's like, oh, well, with time, I'll get over this breakup. With time, it'll just happen. I'll just give it up to time. Day in, day out, eventually this will hurt a bit less. With time, time is somehow magically going to do that. With time, I will get older or something. With time, I will be a different person, basically. I think there's like a lot of things that we just assume with time, eventually I'll get there. Even if it's like, I was thinking a lot about this in regards to my piano playing. And I was like working on another song, and I was realizing, oh, I kind of have this general idea that with time, I just play this over and over, I'll learn it. It'll just happen magically. I'll just be good at this one day with time. And that might be true. It can be true. You know, like with time, I keep doing these motions with my hands. Eventually my hands will get really good at doing these motions. Sure. But have I actually ever like learned the thing? Like, when am I gonna learn it? And that can happen right now. Like, I can learn this actually right now. Not with time. I can learn it right now. And also, what's your conception of how long it takes you to learn something? You're deciding those rules. Like, how long does it take you to learn a script? How long does it take you to learn a song? How long does it take you to learn this big life lesson? How long does it take you to learn to forgive? How long does it take you? You have all these ideas about how long it takes you, or you don't even have an idea and you're just like, one day I'm gonna learn that. And you brush it off and you go, that's out there. I'm gonna put that out there. One day, surely, as an old man, I'll be this person. Surely, like, my life is gonna work out with time. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm just saying you're like giving it up to this like big esoteric kind of like entity that is time, that is somehow gonna mold you into a better human being. Somehow you'll know things with time. And I really like, I have nothing against that, and I think there's some truth to that because that's kind of like what you believe. And so you're giving like, but you're also taking away from like what you can achieve right now. Right now. You can learn it right now. And this kind of took me too to like, what is it to learn something? Meaning that there's different levels. There isn't like learnt, done, bling, bling, bling. Like, you can learn the piece, you play it, and you know it now. That doesn't mean that you're perfect and that you're fluent, like automatic, right? That's mastery, but you can learn it. So when are you gonna learn this thing? And that can happen today. You can have learned it today, just by like how you learn anything. I learned it now. Doesn't mean I don't forget it, but I learned it. Like there was a bridge that I built. That bridge is there, okay? I built that bridge. I connected those dots, and it's built now, forever. And I built it today. I didn't give it up to time. And decide too, like how long it takes you to learn something. I was helping this kid learn a script, and first of all, he was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to learn this in like a day. There's no way. And he had all these ideas about like what he could learn, how quickly. Um, again, you can learn it right now. It doesn't mean that it's at your fingertips. But I'm kind of curious about like what the hell learning is anyway, if you know what I mean. Meaning that I think like we learn really quickly. It's just like we forget almost just as quickly. So that's really curious to me. I'm like, why do we forget? Where does it go? Or we just don't focus. Like, I think maybe just our focus is really, really off. Anyway, that's like side tangent. But, so Aaron Sorkin, when he was doing The West Wing, yeah, someone told me this story. He was like working on an episode of The West Wing. And for those of you who don't know, Aaron Sorkin is really well known for like heavy dialogue driven drama. So like a page of text in a normal episode of television is about a minute. But in Sorkin, it's like half a minute because it's all just dialogue and it's delivered at rapid speed. All right. So imagine getting a new script every week. You know, when you have all these lines to learn, you get really good at learning lines. You got really, really good at learning lines. And this person who told the story was like, they were working on an episode, and there's this big monologue that's supposed to happen in the, the president's room. What's that? What's the president's room? You know, his room, that round room. Someone help me out here. The round room, the president's room, his office. There's a big speech that's supposed to happen, and and one thing about memorizing is like, it's like decently difficult to memorize something. It is far harder to to change the script of something already memorized. It's more challenging because you've already created little like pathways for where your mind is supposed to go, when and where. All right. So anyway, they decided to like totally change this monologue, and then they give it to the actress, and they were like, "How much time do you need?" And she's like, 15 minutes. And it's like 3 pages long, a monologue. And she goes away. 15 minutes she spends with this text, comes back, and she's word perfect. She delivers it like one take. Word perfect. Because she went through like Sorkin training, basically. And she can memorize shit. Now, obviously, you know, she went through the training, but it's also like a different conceptualization of how long it takes her to do something. She's reimagined something for herself about memorization, as opposed to like, oh, it takes me weeks, or it takes me like at least a week, or it takes me half an hour versus like 15 minutes. Like, how long does it take you to learn things? How long does it take you to get from point A to point B? That's for you to decide. And like, can you set benchmarks? And this kind of got me thinking about Parkinson's law, which, for those of you who don't know, is like that time is like this vacuum for things to get done. And whatever time you're given, it will be filled up with the task. So you're given 3 months for a term paper, it will take you those 3 months. You will use up all the time that you were given. If you're given a week, you will use up the week. So the time, like, it matters, but it doesn't. And that's like where procrastination can set in too, because you've given, it's almost like you have to procrastinate because you have all this time. And it also means that, oh, if you have all this time, like, it's heavier, right? Because it's bigger. It's bigger. Oh, I have 3 months. It has to be 3 months worth of work. I have to be spending that time thinking about it, dreading it, like anticipating it, researching it, not doing it. Like, I have to use all of this time. So the same happens with anything. If I don't set a deadline, if I don't decide when I'm going to learn something, if I'm just kind of abstract with it, like, with time, that will happen. Okay, with time, like, sure, we'll use that all up. We'll use that all up. This isn't for like putting pressure on yourself. because I don't think that's a good thing either. But I guess for myself and for all of you, it's like I kind of just want you guys to like notice time and observe like what's actually happening. Like find time for yourself. And what is it and how do you experience it? And do you like that? Or do you want to have new rules around time? Because you can have that. I truly believe. There are people who just like have all the time in the world. They just experience time in a different way. And they are fast and quick with things. They learn things quickly. They learn things quickly. Or like they get ready in the morning really quickly. Really quickly. It doesn't take them time to do things. They're not late. They're always on time. Like this is a tool, again, for you to use and you to have rules around and you to have like experiences around. How do you want to experience time? What do you want to do with it? If it's a thing for you to move through life with, it should be your ally, your friend. And if you are going to be like, as opposed to being a victim to time, which I think so many people, there's like that conversation about it, like, oh, we're all like, like, oh, we're all just, it's the one thing you can never get back, and we're all victims to this thing. Like, I don't know, it's this very scary thing that I think sometimes can be talked about. Yeah, God, it's this awful thing. Like, time is passing. I'm running out of time. I'm just getting older. I'm just like closer to death. Like all of those things. Cool. That's really fun. Again, if you think about it, that like it's there for us and it's something to be invested, like it's something to help us, move us, then shouldn't it be something to almost be enjoyed, you know, as opposed to something that's slipping through our fingers? It's like, oh, it helps me like watch the passing of something. I get to experience in the same way that you experience a sunset. And because of time, I get to see the colors change, right? I get to see change. Then that's true of everything. If you take that same approach with everything, then everything is like this unfolding. And there's beauty in that. And it's not something that is slipping through our fingers. It's something that literally is like there for us to just like experience beauty, really. And that changes your concept of aging, if that's something that concerns you, if you have like, if you kind of feel like, oh, I'm behind, or like people, other people, I know some people have like a lot of fear around that like they're supposed to be at certain places in their life. Like, if again, you're just on your own track, things are moving for you. You're never stuck. Stuck is an idea, stuck is a decision, essentially. You're deciding, I'm stuck. And then you're like, okay, but you're never actually stuck. So wherever you're at, like you get to enjoy your own unfolding of whatever, in whatever area or whatever is happening for you. Yeah, and I just think like there's something to be discovered there. There's something wonderful to be discovered there. Because why else have it? And right, instead of thinking that you're losing time or spending time or wasting time, that's the worst. If you just change that to like you're investing time, meaning that this time, again, as a vehicle, is something that is taking you to a certain place. And that every minute, every second is taking you somewhere. That you are going somewhere with this. You are moving, you are changing, you are in process, you are unfolding with this time, this gift of time. It's not a gift that like, oh, I have all this time. It's like a gift of time that it allows for an unfoldment. That's what I think. And I also think like with this, it's brought up a lot of my noticing how how vague I am with certain, not events, not like life events, but I am a bit wishy-washy about how long it'll take me to do things or when things will happen for me, and I think some of that is healthy and that I'm very patient because of it. Like I'm a patient person in general. But I think I'm missing out potentially on creating, like just creating basically. That like, oh, maybe things don't have to take as long as I think they do. Honestly. And it's not about putting pressure on myself and being like, I have to, but maybe actually I'm just capable of learning things if I change my mind about it. Or like I'm capable of things happening now or happening tomorrow, or like that every day things can be happening and I don't need to be like, one day that will happen. Or not even thinking of that. Yeah. That's why it's called the present. Come see the world beyond the maze. Well, yeah. Okay, you guys are all, I'm not even gonna scroll back because it looks like you're all just like enjoying each other. Life is the perfect gift. We're supposed to get better with time. You know that, right? It's supposed to get better and better and better and better and better. Not the opposite. Yeah. I don't know about you, but like I grew up really afraid of passing time. Wasting time. Oh my goodness. Wasting time. That honestly was like really big fear for me. I'm wasting my life. I'm wasting my life. And then you're like, but this is my life. Like, this is it. I'm not wasting it, I'm living it. There's a difference. And I could just live this life. I could just live it and stop worrying that I'm wasting it. Song time. This is why I think we use time. We use it. We say, one day I will sing. And it's often true. This really isn't like seize the day message, by the way. You're already seizing it. You're seizing it in this way that you choose to seize it. It's seized. You create your day every minute. Okay? I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I want to sing. And that's fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you guys, but like, I feel like pulled in these two different directions right now. Which is like, I'm I just want to enjoy my life. And I feel like I'm doing that in a lot of ways. Like I'm just enjoying myself. And then at the same time, I also have this pull to like, what are you doing? Like maybe it's time to make some changes. Maybe it's time to do some things. And I don't know if that pull is like outside pressure, you know, or like my projected feeling like, okay, time for a change. Like, okay, Janessa, go do something. I don't know if it's kind of old stuff basically coming up, old patterns of like, hey, like prove that you're worth something. Or whether there's something to it. I think there's, yeah, maybe there's some kind of medium. It's so weird when you start to like just enjoy your life and you're like, but wait, what? I'm happy. I'm just happy. I just like this. And I don't really, do I really want something, or do I just think I want it? You know what I mean? And am I, you know how they're like, how people will be like, stay hungry. Stay hungry. Is that true? What the hell kind of message is that? Stay hungry? No. That means like, be dissatisfied with what you have. You're hungry. I mean, I know it doesn't necessarily have to mean that. But what if you just go like, I'm full. My life is friggin' great. I love it. I don't need to change. No one else in my life needs to change. Nothing needs to change. I love it. I love where I'm at. I love this. Like, that's actually radical. Do you know how little people, is that right? People are actually doing that? Like, I love where I'm at right now. It's good. Please, nothing change. I just really like that idea. I think because I've never experienced it. Honestly. I don't know that I've ever truly experienced that, like, there's nothing I would change. Nothing. And, yeah, that just seems like the boldest thing one could possibly do. And I think when you tell people that too, they're like, but come on, you could like lose some weight or brush up on your Spanish. What do you mean you're all right? No, you're not. You're gonna stop here. And it's like, no, I'm not stopping. I'm just going to enjoy. I'm just gonna live. Stay hungry. That's very funny. You'll just get fat. Hey, Mars. That's lovely. Sorry, I just read your message. Yeah, you can just spend your time doing whatever you want. And e.g., the part of you that wants to say F it all, like, I'm really curious about that state of mind. I think that's a state of like F this. Like, we just want to like exit stage right. And a lot of people would be like, yes, go for it. And maybe you should. go to Montana or wherever you want to go. Maybe you should, you know? But I'm curious about like where it's coming from. Because I'm all about like where are you coming from? So if time is an illusion, and space ultimately then is an illusion too, because space can only really exist if you can move through it. I know it's like not an illusion, but it is. Okay, the only true thing is like consciousness. Okay, then basically you're saying like my consciousness will be different over here. It will be different over here. I'll be someone else over there. Right? Like you think like Montana's, you can't feel here. I can't feel free here. I can't. That's not true. It's not true. And initially I think like it's easy to give ourselves like that, like, oh, I do feel different over there. But you're doing that. It's all in you, baby. If you want to feel free, you can feel free. And feel free first. And then go to Montana. That's what I would say. Find the freedom first, and then go if you still have the desire to go. Yeah. Because if you keep living from that place of like, I'll just be this, I'll feel good once this, you're never gonna feel it. You're never gonna find it. I mean, that's what I think. But I could be wrong. It's my experience. If you want to go, go. There's lots of people who would say otherwise. They would say, out with the old, in with the new. Just go. Go explore. Go frolic in the fields of Montana. That's just what I think. I think, like, you're free right now. And then an opportunity to go to Montana will show up. Right? Like, be freedom. And then your life will reflect that. And you won't have to, like, force it to happen. So I'm not saying, like, don't go down that path of wanting to be free. I'm just saying give it to yourself. Okay. I have not watched Happy Gilmore. I also just want to say I watched The Shrink Next Door this past week, maybe. And so I found myself like feeling bad after like every episode. I was like, why am I thinking like this? Why am I afraid? Why am I doubting myself? Why am I feeling bad? And I was like, it's just because you watched the TV show. It's just because you watched the TV show, which makes you feel bad things, okay? It just makes you feel bad things. It's the TV show. It's not you. And it really was true. Like, I had to be like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? Oh, it's because of the show. That's it. And that was really, really helpful to keep me, like, kind of trusting myself, I guess is the best way to put it. That, like, I wasn't falling back into old patterns or things like that. It was like, oh, it's just a TV show. It's not real. It's a TV show. I've spent the last 50 minutes being hypnotized by this world that says things are a certain way and that, like, people are duplicitous and evil and bad and terrible and, like, you're gonna get taken advantage of. So that's why I'm feeling that. That's the only reason. Okay? It's not true. It's just, I've been living in that world for the last... Oh, there we go. Yeah. So that's just like a disclaimer. Just be aware of what you're watching and where it's taking your mind. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, that's nice, Justin. Thank you. Jurassic World movie. And bring... Am I going to go see Jurassic World and bring my lamp? What do you think? Yes. I'll be like, excuse me, do you have an outlet that I could plug in my friend here with? Right away. There you go, miss. Why, thank you. He will light up the aisles for all the people to pass by. Of course. I didn't know it was coming out. But that's exciting. I keep meaning to read that book. Because apparently it's very good. And Michael Crichton, I want to say... Oh, I always get him mixed up. Was he a doctor? I think he maybe was. Which I think makes him a better writer. Yeah, the dinosaur is a lamp. Yeah, he's functional, baby. He's not just some... He's a hard worker. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. Yeah, I never turn him on, actually. But yeah, what? You thought he was just living here for free? No. He has work to do. He has to light up my life. A song. What's a song I know? Bro been dying for a song. Okay. Oh, what's your question, Elizabeth? Mbop? Oh my goodness. They had such good hair, didn't they? Bop, dibby dop bop, bop, dibby dop bop, bop, dibby dop bop, da. Oh, wow. Bop, dibby dop bop, bop. Right? Are the lyrics right? Dibby dop dop, bop, dibby dop dop, ooh, ooh. Are there more lyrics than that? I don't think so. Are they like, met this girl at the shopping mall? I don't know that there was lyrics. Do you know why maybe your voice wasn't in... I don't know. I know nothing of that world. You take that up with the producers. I have no idea. What are like old school songs like that? Like Hanson, Backstreet Boys. What's a Backstreet Boys song? I forget it. Did they do like, I want it that way? Was that Backstreet Boys? Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartbreak. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say, I want it that way. I want it that way. They were always so like, Like, I forget, like, the boy band moves are like, oh, do, 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 do. Like, those are the moves. You are my fire, the one desire. Ooh, I want it that way. I thought of doing like an episode where I looked at song lyrics and I talked about self-concept of different artists. Because I've been listening to like the Harry's House album a lot, working out to it. And I was like, there's a kind of like, it's obviously Harry writing these songs, that he's like super present as a person. He just takes in like his environment in a lot of ways, and you get all these like, it's very rich in detail, his songs, I find. And there's like an optimism and kind of a playfulness, and it comes across. And then you have other artists, and then you have like Ariana Grande, and it's very, very powerful, obviously. And then you have other artists like, like honestly, I was just thinking of like just looking at the song Creep, which is a great friggin' song. But if you look at the lyrics, you're like, what the fuck is this song? Like, so depressing. I'm a creep. And it talk about like putting someone up on a pedestal. I'm a loser. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. No one should be allowed to sing that song. No one. No one. And I've sung that song a lot. Or like Billie Eilish. And I love her songs. And I think it's like really telling like the artist that you obviously you gravitate to. But it's like, stop it. So I don't listen to a lot of Billie Eilish anymore. But there's a lot of like her being like used and taken advantage of, or like following after someone. I think they've gotten a lot better. But anyway, I just thought that maybe would be like a fun thing to like go like lyric by lyric and kind of like analyze where the hell this person is coming from. A live version of Amazing Grace or any five. Yeah, I just don't like singing those songs. Juice WRLD, Billie Eilish. I used to love, like when I first discovered her, I was like, oh. It was just so lush and atmospheric, and like, I think that's, and the way like chord progressions are just really interesting, I think, compared to like, I don't know. I was trying to listen to like Dua Lipa recently, and I was like, this is boring. This music is boring. A lot of it is boring. Some of it is good, but I'm like, and I didn't feel that way about Billie Eilish, but like her lyrics, man. But there's more to it. Like, I think she has this like tough, kind of like, I can handle, like, basically like a fuck you. I think she has that in her, but there's still this like, that she gets hurt or like by people she loves, that runs through her song, or that people don't like her the way that she likes them. Like Happier Than Ever. That's what I mean. It's like this interesting concept of like, I'm better on my own. But it's still this idea that like someone betrayed you and wasn't there for you, blah blah blah. Juice WRLD. I have no idea what Juice WRLD is. Okay, I'm gonna go because I feel like I'm rambling just about songs. You think she's so annoying? I literally used to love her. I don't know who I love anymore. Okay, I love you. Take care. Okay, Stress. Bye. Bye. Oh, okay. I didn't see that, Matt, but cool. Let's talk music next time. Maybe I'll do like one, maybe I'll go live. I feel like going live more often than just Saturdays. So maybe like I'll do another live stream. I'm going to take a poll. What weekday night would work for you guys? Because I think maybe I want to do one for the summer. Since these like things have become so casual now. I don't. To answer your question, Justin. Bob. Anything that works. Saturday and Sunday. But it's Saturday. It's Sunday. I already do that. There's no another day. Like Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. Could be morning too. Could be other time. Nonetheless, you're awake at 4 a.m. every day for work. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just go live and surprise y'all. And if you can be there, you can be there. And if not, it's okay. Thursday. Okay, Stress. That's a good day for me. I will do Thursday. Okay, I'm gonna go because this accent is coming out and I don't know where it came from. So, I don't know. I think this is a sign that I should go. Alright, so maybe I'll do, maybe I'll do a music live stream Thursday. Okay. Love you so much and